Mhm.
You will come to know all this and you will include here. It's your responsibility and what test data you need to use to log into that application. Every
Okay.
application has a login credentials that you are using. You will put all of them here. Your
Okay.
automation has to be used this username password, right? And what
Correct,
is
sir.
your application URL? You have to
Okay.
give all these properties. You want to run in the headless mode, or you want to run in incognito mode, or into you want to highlight the elements. So all this you are mentioning here, right?
Okay.
That is what you are doing. So these
What
are
about
you
this
will
chain,
know
sir?
all this.
Mm-hmm.
And then so chain properties is another. These are common. It won't change. So chain test properties. Chain test properties file. How to read properties file? Hmm? How to read properties file? How to read data from properties files?
Data driven.
Data driven. That is for data driven testing. So properties file concept I explained in Java. How to read data from properties file. So that's the last topic. Okay. So this all these properties files you have to include. So let's see the log4j properties. So this is anyhow this logging we are not using, but if you want you can include. See these are logs. All logs will go under this logs folder. So it will create a logs folder here and automatically the logs will be stored there. So you have to create exactly log4j.xml. log4j2.xml. Under that you paste it. So and then Allure properties, Allure report related. If you want to include Allure reports, just this file, just one liner. So you just right click under resources, file, Allure dot properties. So all these properties files I will paste in our Slack channel one by one. You can include under this resources. Now, so you have to create a one more one by one package. Now you created resources are done. Packages you created. Now you respective package create the classes. So there is a standard classes are there. Those classes. So you just need to understand under factory. So one is WebDriver factory class. So you have to like we have created a browser factory, right? Same code you can paste it here. Okay, but there are some extra functions will be there. But let's include that. I'll put WebDriver factory file. This is the Java class, right? WebDriver factory. WebDriver factory class you are creating. So WebDriver factory class. So you can create. So let me include this. So this is the entire code. Just copy paste this. So I'll tell you entire thing. You can copy paste. See all the imports. So you just package after imports will be there. Then your WebDriver factory. So and see if you want to run in headless mode, you can run in headless mode. So this is the initializing your WebDriver. So I'll explain one by one. First, let's create a So these things, and I'll explain one by one to you. Okay. So this switch case I used. So if you pass the browser, it will come to that case and executes all the options. So we created so many options. We can include if you want all of, but we just need these options. So you are running in headless mode, and these are enough. But if you want to include incognito and disable info bars, if you want to add all of them. All these are Chrome options. Similar way, Firefox options. Similar way, Edge options. So that's it. Okay, we can use these options. I'll explain these one by one. Let's create this factory class you need to use in the test base class. Let's create one more test base class. Test base class. Under this test base, so you can use this all the code. So this is the entire code, copy paste there. So you don't need to change anything here. That's the packages. So then there is a constants class it is asking. Let's create under utilities. See, this is under utilities package. So I'll ask this create. So more actions, and I'll just create a class directly under go here, right click, new Java class constants. That means your application constants you can place under this class. So that is the, so let me go to that and bring this all the utility classes. So we don't need to do anything under these utilities. Just copy paste there. Everything copy paste. So I'll explain you so when the situation comes, so that you can avoid these errors. So errors are gone now, you can see all the errors are gone, right? So that's the one thing. And test base class, so you are initializing your driver, so your build number, everything, a chain test listener logger we are using. So we are using a chain test listener logger. We are not going to use a log4j. So all the logs you will see. I'll explain you this one by one. Okay. So this package is done. This is the standard. You don't need to change anything here. And this also change. You don't need to change all the utility classes. Let me explain one by one. Let's create one by one first. So next Excel utils. So this Excel utils class, it will be used how to read data from Excel file. We are going to place in Excel file the data, right? How you can read that data. So that is Excel utils will help you to do that. So I'm going to copy paste this entire code there. So next JavaScript utils. So all JavaScript executor related or JavaScript code related utilities you can mention here. Utils. I'm adding to Git. So that's why it is asking add to Git. These are standard code you can use. Oh, it is showing error.
So we created a class name as Java, sir. Java.
JavaScript, right?
But
JavaScript.
you have created GAV, sir. You have not mentioned EA.
Oh, okay, okay. Rename the file. Okay. So that's the one. Next, time utils. So how much time you need? So medium time, small time, large time. So how much time you want to wait? That wait time, if you need, you can use this time utils. So let's create all the utility files here. Time utils. See, these are all adding to Git. Do you want to add the following file to Git? So I'm adding so that your file will be available in the Git repository. Last one, WebDriver utils. So this is the WebDriver utils. All the WebDriver related methods, you will redesign them. So all the WebDriver utility methods you will write here. WebDriver utils. Add to Git, and you can just copy paste entire code. That's it. So these are all done. So now mostly we are going to work on these two packages, creating a page class, creating test cases, and adding test data files. So here it will happen. So these are fixed. We don't need to touch. Even these resources also you won't touch, right? So these are the how you can design your framework. So now let's go and understand WebDriver Factory. So what is WebDriver Factory? We created a base, everything, the main, so important classes. I'll give the GitHub repository and all these files you can copy paste there. Okay. So already here, but this is the old code. Um, so new code we have to place it here, and you can just copy paste. But these are all not required now. So this is outdated. Uh, Constants is common. Uh, JavaScript utils is, I think I might improve something. Time utils common. Excel utils common. And this one is another WebDriver utils is some changes happened. Now see under pages. So we got home page.java, like these files will be there. So entire I have created here. So but some of these are now updated. So we'll understand that. Okay. I'll keep all these updated files here. Maybe you can copy existing code under utils and packages. Different these are not required. I'll delete them so that you can copy this. All the configuration files I'll put it here. Next log4j, it is common. This one, test base code, and also WebDriver factory. So this latest code I'll keep it, and you can copy from here. But understand here first. So what is this WebDriver factory class? So this WebDriver factory class is used to launch your browser, and how to launch, and you set your browser options, then you can launch your application URL. Till that you will do everything here in this WebDriver factory. See, WebDriver factory is following a Java design factory concepts. So we are using here singleton design pattern. This is another interview question. Which design patterns you have used in your automation? So you have to give answer singleton design pattern. So what is singleton design pattern means? So your this class you will allow to create only one instance. That means one object only allowed to create. So you are not going to allow more than one object for that class. That is called singleton design pattern. So that singleton design pattern is implemented here. So how to implement that? So same class type you have to declare here. If you see here, line number 36, so you'll declare this class type as a private, static, volatile, WebDriver factory, and WebDriver factory instance we created. So there's a variable. So, and then you will create a one private static thread local. I already told you thread local means each thread, it will be treated as a one local variable, this TL driver. That's a thread local. Every variable, every thread, it will be a separate variable, it will be passed. That's the purpose of this thread local class. So that if you're running a parallel execution, so if you want to share a driver between multiple threads, there will be a conflict. To avoid that conflict, so we are using a thread local, and it will pass individual driver to each thread, so that all driver will be passed to different browsers or classes if you are running. So how you can achieve one object you can create, make the constructor private. If you make the constructor private, you can create object only in this class. You are not allowed to create object for this class outside of this class. That's a private means. Private won't allow you if the constructor is a private. Make a note of this. If a constructor is of private, it won't allow you to create object outside of the class. That's the private constructor purpose. It will stop creating object for this class outside. You cannot create object outside of this class. That's the private constructor. So these are all rules for singleton design pattern. So singleton design pattern, same class type you have to declare one variable, that is a private static variable, and private constructor should be there, and there is a public uh, get driver method will be there. So see, public get instance method, right? This get instance method is a that class type, this class type. So this method is returning this instance of current class type. So these are the three rules you have to follow to create a singleton design pattern. See, if instance is null, that means this WebDriver factory class object is null, then synchronized WebDriver factory class. If instance is null, you create object. See, one time only we are creating object. If it is a null only, you are going to create object. So you will get instance object reference. So that you declared here. So this initially null. Now we assigned a value to that. So that's the one thing. Then if the thread local driver, so instance is null, then instance dot init web driver. You initialize the driver and pass the browser reference. So return the instance. So that's the your get instance method. So this will give you your WebDriver factory instance variable. So that is a global. So this method is global. Always you will use this method to get the WebDriver factory instance. Now there is a get driver method which returns the WebDriver object, and quit driver, it will quit the WebDriver. So TL driver dot get method. If TL driver dot get is not null, then TL driver dot get dot quit method. TL driver dot remove, completely you're removing the thread local driver instance variable. So that is the how you are going to design. So then we have some other methods. So read property value. So from properties file. So this is what I told you in the uh, Java. First you have to create object for properties class to read properties file object, properties file values. So this is the one you are going to use. Then so you will So these are the chain test listener dot log. This is a logging purpose you're using. You can write your log messages with the chain test listener dot log. So log messages you can do that. So then we have a file input stream fs equal to new file input stream. You're reading this config file. So this config file. See, I'm reading that. So where that is available, new file, and this path I have mentioned in the constants file. So let me show you. So if you go here, see that path I mentioned. How I mentioned? Read that carefully. User directory. So user directory means system dot get property user dot dir. That. So what this will give you? User dot dir. What it will give you? This system dot get property user dot dir. Hmm?
Properties.
Solve problem with the Java concepts. So this is the beginning class I told you this, and also in the middle also I covered somewhere. This system, make a note of this. System dot get property user dot dir will give you current project path. This path. So when you mouse over this is giving right C workspace. So that entire project path it will give you. That means till this it will give you this one. So from there, so that I'm reusing here, user directory. Instead of writing again this one, I am using one time and I am calling here plus that project, then source. This is the source. Under source, test. Test under there is a resources. See, test after it went to resources. Under resources, you have config properties. That is the path I mentioned here under constants. So you don't need to change this. This doesn't change this path. So that's what I called this name. So this is the static variable, public static final variable. So that this path is not going to change. That's a public static final variables I have used. So this variable I have used here. See, that's how I called here. So these are all Java and everything Java. So how to read properties file. So I have explained here to you. Not WebDriver, this WebDriver factory, right? Yeah. So this is the one. See, class name dot static variable. Every line is Java concepts. So this is the file utils, file input stream, class object. So file input stream is to read the properties file or any file, right? That's any file we use. Then prop dot load. I'm loading all those properties. Then try catch. So file not found exception. If that file is not there, it will throw file not found exception and return properties dot get property, and whatever the key you have given, that key it will return to you by this method. So that is the one reusable function we developed this one. See, I have written a document comment. This method reads the property value from properties file. So very clearly, and parameter is key, and it is a return type method. It returns a string type data to you. So it's very clearly given. Then these are all some random string if you want to generate, random number if you want to generate. These are the methods you can use. So there is a one more, generate the random email. If you want to generate the random email, so I just used this random functions. Now this is the very important. If you want to take the screenshot in a byte format, right? In a byte format, so you can use this. See that take screenshot of driver means here get driver is the driver. So take screenshot of driver dot get the screenshot as, see output type I am taking the byte array. I'm taking a byte array. This is writing, I'm reading bytes, not file. file type. Here we used a file type, right? But I'm using a byte type. I want a byte type. So this will return, this function will return a byte array. It's all return type methods. Above also return type methods. See, most of them return type methods we created. And if you want file type screenshot, you can take this one. See again, uh, timestamp based. You can create a timestamp and take screenshot. So take screenshot of get driver and take screenshot dot get the screenshot as output type file. So you will get a file type and destination. So I'm placing constants dot user directory under a screenshots folder. So under this timestamp, so you're putting. So this is the complete how you can place file utils dot copy file. This is coming from Apache Commons IO package. This class is coming. This class has this static method. This static method you need to pass two arguments. So everything Java and every line is a Java. Without Java, a difficult to understand framework structure. That's why I was asking Java is a crucial. Okay, so that's the this WebDriver factory class is having what it is. So you're reading the properties file, you're setting the your instance variable. Basically, you're initializing your browser here. So now this one, what this init WebDriver will do, init driver class method. You are telling which browser you want to initialize. See all the switch browser. If it is a Chrome, I'll set the Chrome options. See this how to set SSL certificates. Set accept insecure certs true if you give, automatically it will handle. So this uh, SSLs, HTTPS related websites. And if you want to run in headless mode, you have to set this. If you want to give the window size, you can give this window sizes. Add arguments hyphen hyphen window hyphen size equal to 1920,080. So the browser window size you are giving, Chrome browser size window size you are giving. Then TL driver dot set method new Chrome driver and all these Chrome options you are setting for that Chrome driver. Then break it. And similarly Firefox. So set the Firefox options first and then Firefox binary. Where is your Firefox? So exe file is there. So that you have given C program files. Always this is the path for program files. So Firefox. So your Firefox browser installation will be here. Then any info bars you can disable them. Any HTTPS sites you want to access, set this accept insecure sites to true, and if you want to run in headless mode, you set this hyphen hyphen headless new. So that is the Firefox browser. And then we have a Edge. So Edge also similar options. See TL driver dot set. This is the your initialization new Edge driver. So you initialize. So when it comes to framework, it will change. It will be not same as our how we have written individual test cases. So one time only this all browser setup, browser launching will be there. So then default. If no browser set, it will show unsupported browser. That's the browser setup. Okay. Which browser you want to initialize, which driver, Chrome driver or Firefox driver or Edge driver, which driver you want to initialize. You can keep adding. If few more, if you want to add one more case block, you add. So that switch case and default block. So you want to add a Safari browser, add one more case block and add all the Safari options and then that new Safari driver and that Safari options you give as a constructor parameter. This is a constructor, right? This is the constructor. So you're creating object for that class. Then test base class, I'm using this class. So in the test base class, I'm using this class. See how I'm using test base class. So this is the one chain. You have to put at the rate listeners chain test listener dot class. So what this will do is all the chain test class related you can use here. See, I'm using for the logging purpose, right? The loggers, see, chain test listener dot log, chain plugin service dot get instance, add system info. You can add which build you are testing, who is the owner of that tester. So all this info you can add to your report. So that is the thing I am setting here. And here, see, first I'm using annotations at the rate parameters browser. So at the rate before class, see, this is the before class is a test ng annotation. So public void common setup at the rate optional Chrome. If you don't provide any browser, this will take care of Chrome browser and string browser option. See, I'm using here a driver equal to, see, I declared here WebDriver. So driver equal to WebDriver factory dot, see this class WebDriver factory dot get instance method. I'm passing a browser dot get driver. Get driver is returning a WebDriver instance, right? This WebDriver instance. So that is what I'm getting a driver object. My driver object is not going to be null now. So here it is null. When it comes to 31 line, this is the browser, Chrome browser instance will be initialized for you by default. If you pass a different browser parameter, so that browser will launch. Next, so chain test listener dot log create object for WebDriver wait class. Wait equal to new WebDriver wait driver comma duration dot op seconds. See, I set that explicit wait in the constant. So nowhere you are hard coding here. Everything abstracted. See, this explicit wait time is coming from, see, 60 seconds I set it. So that is coming from constants file variable. This is a class name dot static variable. So this every line is Java. Every line follows the Java rules and methods and concepts. And I created a WebDriver instance. I created a WebDriver wait object and then chain test listener logger. So I'm launching the application URL. See? So read property value, see app URL. Where is this app URL? This method is, I already told you, just now explained how to read data from properties file. This method is doing that. I'm giving a key. This key is available where? This config.properties. This is my application URL key, and this value you will get there. So that's everything is so Java concept. And then driver dot get method, and I'm giving that application URL. See, I'm not giving directly application URL here. I'm reading from config.properties like this with a method. See, method inside another method I'm calling return type method. So this everything, uh, it is a return type method. So I'm passing what this method will return, this key value. What is this key value? So this is the value. This value you are going to get, and that will be passed to this get method. Application URL is passed here. That will launch your application URL. Okay, so that is the one. And then, so this verify URLs is all your broken links. It is finding out here. So that I already explained. I don't want to explain again. So attach screenshots. See after method. So after method, what I am doing, every method after. So I test result optional Chrome. Okay, string. So browser. If you pass to the browser, if result is not successful, see, This result variable has these methods, is success method. So if it is not, see negation I put, if it is not success, the test result is not success, chain test listener dot embed method, embed WebDriver factory dot get instance take screenshot method you are calling. So it will take the screenshot in the image PNG format. If any test fails, this will take the screenshot. This is what you need to answer. How you can take the screenshot on failure. So you put this. So adding screenshot to the test method. So automatically this will add, embed means it will embed the screenshot to that chain test listeners chain test report. So that's the automatically if any test case fails, it will come to after method, right? Test method. So immediately it will take the screenshot. Then you close a common tear down. Tear down means you're closing the browser. So close the browser. If driver is not null, WebDriver factory dot get instance of browser, which browser you want to quit it. Quit driver. See, I'm not writing all this driver dot quit. So my driver I'm getting like this. Driver instance I'm getting like this. Then quit driver method is there in this class that is calling all the WebDriver instance. So this is the overall factory class which just initialize the browsers and application URL and closing the browsers and taking the screenshot on failure. So that's a complete chain test report how to include, how to launch your browsers, how to close your browsers, how to launch your applications, how to read data from properties files. So that's what we learned from this package. Okay. So the next class I'll explain you these utility classes. Okay. Then we can move to our page designs. Any questions before closing?